If you've ever heard dog facts like dogs can naturally swim, dogs lick wounds to heal themselves, or dogs always want to make you happy, pause for a moment. I've raised dogs long enough to say something that may be hard to hear. Many of the things we believe about dogs are actually misunderstandings passed down for years. And one of the most common ones is this. When a dog leans against you, it means they love you. It sounds warm and comforting, but the truth is much more complicated. First, let's talk about something that seems obvious. Not all dogs can swim. I've seen many people put dogs into water believing they'll figure it out. But in reality, body structure determines swimming ability. Dogs with short legs, broad chests, or flat faces can panic and sink very quickly. Dogs aren't born to be lifeguards. They're born to function within the limits of their own bodies. If your dog isn't comfortable with water, improper swim training can turn into real injury or accidents. Then there's the idea that dogs lick wounds to heal themselves. Many people think licking helps wounds recover. In reality, it does the opposite. Excessive licking keeps wounds moist, introduces bacteria, and makes them worse. Dogs lick not because they know how to heal, but because it's a repetitive, self-soothing behavior. If dogs truly knew how to heal themselves, veterinarians would have gone out of business long ago. Another misunderstanding that causes many dogs to suffer quietly is the belief that dogs like being hugged. You like hugs. Dogs don't communicate through hugs. When restrained in a hug, many dogs are merely tolerating it, not enjoying it. Common signs include turning the head away, lip licking, yawning, or stiffening. That's stress, not affection. Loving a dog doesn't mean forcing human expressions of love onto them. Some people also believe that if a dog goes through a doorway before you, it's trying to be the alpha. The truth is far simpler. Dogs move fast because they're excited. There is no scientific evidence linking doorway order to dominance. If a dog rushes ahead, it's enthusiasm, not a power grab. Then comes the most romantic myth of all. Dogs are born to please humans. It sounds beautiful, but it's not accurate. Dogs follow commands because they've learned those behaviors lead to rewards, food, affection, or avoiding trouble. Not because of innate devotion. If your dog behaves well, it's because you trained them effectively, not because they were born wanting to be good. Another dangerous mistake is punishing a dog for growling. Growling isn't bad behavior. Growling is a warning. When you punish it, you teach the dog something risky. Don't warn anymore. And next time, they may bite without warning. Dogs don't become calmer when you suppress signals, they become more unpredictable. Even how people greet unfamiliar dogs is often wrong. Reaching a hand toward a dog's face to let them sniff can feel intrusive. A better approach is to stand still, avoid direct staring, and let the dog choose whether to approach. Respecting space creates more safety than forcing interaction. Now, back to the main topic. When a dog leans against you, yes, sometimes it's affection, but not always. Some dogs lean because they're anxious and seeking reassurance. Some want attention. Some enjoy physical contact. Others lean to subtly claim space. If you look only at the behavior without reading the body language around it, it's easy to misinterpret. What I want you to remember is this. Dogs don't live by myths. They live through their bodies, nervous systems, and experiences. When you stop projecting human emotions onto dogs, you begin to understand them more clearly and treat them better. If anything in this video made you think, wait, my dog does that too, leave a comment. Not to argue, but to share. Many dog owners misunderstand these behaviors without realizing it. And if you want to continue understanding dogs not through feel-good sayings, but through science, real experience, and the perspective of someone who's raised dogs for years, subscribe and stay. Dogs don't need you to believe myths. They need you to understand them correctly. There is a very thin line that animal behavior science consistently emphasizes, yet dog owners often cross it without realizing it. We tend to interpret dog behavior through human emotions instead of through a dog's nervous system. And it's precisely here that misunderstandings, frustration, and even unnecessary conflict between humans and dogs are born. Dogs don't think in terms of right and wrong, love or hate the way humans do. They respond to safety, reward, and predictability. When a dog leans on you, licks you, follows you around the house, or even stares at you for a long time, the first question shouldn't be, does it love me? But rather, what is its body seeking in that moment? Stability? Reassurance? Connection? Or simply habit? Behavioral studies show that dogs are extremely sensitive to human emotional states. When you're stressed, your breathing changes, your voice shifts, even your body scent changes. Dogs pick up on this very quickly. Many behaviors we label as clingy or over-attached are actually responses to an emotionally unstable environment. Dogs don't cling because they're weak. They cling because they're trying to maintain balance. One very practical lesson longtime dog owners often learn through experience is this. Dogs need consistency more than intense affection. Excessive hugging, constant calling of their name, or petting when the dog isn't ready can sometimes increase stress rather than create comfort. For dogs, love isn't about intensity, it's about predictability. Knowing when they'll be touched, when they can rest, when it's time to play, when they can be left alone. Because of this, misinterpreting behaviors like leaning or shadowing can lead to inappropriate responses. Some people think the dog needs more affection, when in reality it needs space. Others think the dog is misbehaving, when it's actually anxious. Behavioral science calls this misreading signals, and the consequences don't show up immediately, but gradually build into baseline stress. I want you to try something very simple after this video. The next time your dog leans against you, don't react right away. Observe. How are the ears positioned? Is the body soft or tense? Is the tail relaxed or stiff? Is the breathing fast or slow? Did the behavior happen after a loud noise, a change in the home, or a day with little activity? When you start looking at context instead of just behavior, you'll understand far more than you expect. If you're raising a dog, you don't need to become an expert. You just need to trust fewer hand-me-down sayings and start trusting your own observations. Dogs aren't complicated. They're simply far more honest with their bodies than humans are. If these ideas reflect your own experience raising a dog, stay with the channel. Subscribing isn't about collecting tips, but about gradually building a way of understanding that's accurate, sustainable, and less stressful for both you and your dog. You don't need to raise dogs perfectly. You just need to raise them right. Before this video comes to an end, I want you to hold on to one very important thing. Dogs don't live by the stories we tell each other, they live by the sense of safety within their own bodies. When you truly understand that, many behaviors that once confused or even irritated you begin to make sense and feel easier to accept, not because the dog has changed, but because the way you see them has changed. You don't need to become a behavior expert. You just need to slow down a little, observe a bit more, and stop projecting human emotions onto dogs. When you do that, your relationship with your dog becomes lighter, less tense, and far more durable. If today's insights helped you see your dog from a new perspective with fewer myths and more understanding, subscribe and stay. This channel is for people who are truly raising dogs, living with them every day, and wanting to understand them as they really are, not through rumors. We still have so much to learn together, because understanding dogs, in the end, is also a way of learning to live more aware and thoughtfully.